Hey, it's Mr. Burns on a teacher workday here in room A110. We're going to talk about the executive branch today with our vocab. Hey, we're coming down to the wire here. We got executive branch, we got judicial branch, we got a couple economics vocabs, and then that's it. So think about it. Only a few more, and then it's the SOL, and then it's the end of the year. So we're getting there. I got my chili. I got my cup of chili here. I'm ready to go. All right, so here we go. Remember the directions. You write the definitions in now for homework by the posted due date. You complete the your definition and the picture visual columns. Make sure you color those pictures. We're in the third quarter. I'm not accepting things that are not colored, and done to my satisfaction. All right, here we go. We're 14 words here. So the first word is going to be administer. Think of an administrator, someone kind of who manages and controls the operations of something, and that's kind of what the executive branch does. They're administering different departments and different people within those departments, and basically administering how our government operates. Okay? All right, second word is to appoint. One of the powers of the president and of the governor is to, and even our local government officials, is to place someone in charge of a certain cabinet department or a leader of an agency. So that point is to select, choose, to pick. All right. Next is a bureaucracy. This can be 2 bullets. The second one is really the big one. But all those agencies within our government, within our executive branch of government, they're the ones that really run the day-to-day operations of our government, and that's the bureaucracy. Some people say bureaucracy in a negative light. They might say that there's a lot of layers and red tape to cut through to get to someplace. To get from one thing to be done, there's a lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of layers. It's a complex system. But when we're talking about bureaucracy, we're talking about all those different cabinet departments, all those different agencies. That's the bureaucracy. All right. Cabinet, just mentioned that word. That is the specific advisors to the president, to the governor as well. And they are in charge of, providing the president or the governor with certain advice or assistance as needed, and controlling and being an expert on their section of the government. So you might have like a Secretary of State in charge of foreign affairs, Secretary of Defense is in charge of the military or heading the military and our, tactics and plans. And then you have Attorney General, head lawyer of our nation, and labor and energy and education, and all these different departments that we'll talk about. All right, clerk. Clerk of the circuit court is one of our things we're going to learn about this unit. And it's a person that basically is takes administrative duties, and they record information, and they're really in charge of kind of that kind of organization of certain office. Okay, that's a clerk. Commissioner, leader of an agency. Roger Goodell posted here. He's the NFL commissioner as an example. But you might have commissioner of revenue as an example at the local level of government, someone in charge of the revenue. Commute, not like driving to work, like how long is your commute? It's used in 2 different ways, this word. I'm talking about when the president or governor has the ability to commute or shorten or reduce a sentence of someone. President with federal crimes, the governor with state crimes. Minor drug offenses, or someone gets a 3rd strike federal crime, and they might shorten their sentence. Usually not going to be done for violent criminals. Usually white-collar crimes and minor drug offenses. All right, a diplomat. Chief diplomat is one of the roles of the president, and in this case, you can see here as Hillary Clinton is acting as chief diplomat, meeting with a member of another nation. When she was senator, she was acting as a diplomat. She was also the Secretary of State. But the president also acts as the chief diplomat to represent our interests with other countries. All right, it's time for a little bite here. Oh, that's good. All right. Next word is to execute. Execute laws. It's another word for enforce. That's the main role of the executive branch. And public policy is kind of what they write policy. They take the plan, they take the law. What's that going to look like in our state, for the nation? If people have to follow it, and if they break the law, what are the consequences? All right, an executive order is where the president kind of circumvents supersedes the legislative branch a little bit, kind of goes around them to get something passed. Usually a directive to the military, a directive to one of the agencies to have something done that needs to be done. We saw a lot of these executive orders that Donald Trump was passing with immigration reform. Legislative branch wasn't acting, so he took this power into his own hands. The judicial branch can declare some of these unconstitutional, and they have with many presidents in the past. All right, pardon. Pardon is to forgive. Here you see a picture of President Obama pardoning a turkey. They do this every Thanksgiving. Forgive someone of an error, a crime, or an offense. So again, at the end of their term or throughout their term, people will write to the president if they have a federal crime to be pardoned, and the president, most of the time they don't pardon people, but sometimes they do at the end of their term. A lot of times political allies get pardoned. We'll see what happens with Donald Trump when he, throughout his presidency, if he's going to pardon some of these people who are involved in the Mueller report. All right, sheriff. Sheriff is the leader of the county police force. The county sheriff is elected by the people, and they're responsible for keeping the peace. So every 4 years we have a new county sheriff, and we'll learn more about this when we talk about the state and local executive branch, as well as the treasurer. We also have a treasurer who's in charge of the money. When you think of a treasurer for like a club or an organization, it's usually the person that handles the money, collects the funds and the fees and things like that. Okay, so treasurer as well at the county, state, and local level. And then the last one is a veto, which we've talked about a little bit through our checks and balances with the legislative branch. Remember when the executive, the president, the governor, the mayor, county executive refuses to sign a bill to make it a law. And of course, Congress or General Assembly can override those vetoes with a supermajority vote, but very difficult to do once the president vetoes it. The governor has actually a line item veto, which means the governor can actually choose which parts to veto and which parts to approve. President does not have that power. It would give the president too much power over the nation in terms of lawmaking. All right, so that's all I got. That's the last word there. Complete this by the posted due date. Remember, color the pictures. Examples are your definitions. Simplify those definitions. 1-2 words, short things to help you remember it. And be ready for the quiz on that day the vocab's due. All right, thank you.